Now at 9, it's been 90 years since infamous couple Bonnie and Clyde had a shootout with Joplin area law officers. Plus, Fort Scott Community College gives students a chance to build their future careers. And
we're learning more about the alleged leaker of dozens of highly classified national security documents. I'm Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. I've got the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Today marks 90 years since the notorious crime couple Bonnie and Clyde had a shootout with police in the Joplin neighborhood. KOAM John Nahadala learned more of the history of the event involving the infamous Barrel Gang.
The policemen only got off 7 or 8 shots the entire time, and they were shot at literally hundreds of times.
Infamous crime couple Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow met in Texas in 1930. They committed crimes together across multiple states with their gang. The group stopped in Joplin in 1933 after robbing several businesses.
Clyde loved this apartment because it had 360-degree view around the entire house. The living quarters is upstairs. They could hide the cars inside and not be seen by anybody outside.
Joplin police officers and Newton County constables arrived at the house to check reports of a gun going off. Not prepared for the gang, the encounter led to an exchange of gunfire, ending with 2 law officers dead.
McGinnis and Harriman, who both lost their lives in the shootout that day. And we think it's important for the public to know what the local cost to our community was instead of glamorizing gangsters.
One of the officers' cars was pulled up to the garage.
So during the shootout, they had to come in and release the handbrake so his car would roll down the hill before they could get out.
The gang left behind a camera. These photos helped to identify the gang.
Bonnie could go around pretty freely. Nobody knew who she was, and she could go buy food, she could go buy goods, she could rent apartments.
It would be just over a year later, in 1934, that investigator killed Bonnie and Clyde in Louisiana. In Joplin, Jan Nahadala, KOAM News.
The apartment the gang stayed in is on the National Registry of Historic Places as Bonnie and Clyde garage apartment. People gathered at Landreth Park to watch an outdoor showing of the 1960s film Bonnie and Clyde, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. It follows the couple's violent journey across America, including their stop in Joplin. The event kicked off a vintage car show and food trucks.
We're not really celebrating the shootout itself, we're celebrating the piece of Joplin's history. You know, we lost 2 of our law enforcement folks that evening, and it's really a sad time when we ever lose any one of our citizens. We are going to do a moment of silence tonight for that before we start the film, but it's about the piece of history that changed how law enforcement pursued the gangster era.
Also part of the anniversary, Joplin Little Theater later this month will be performing Bonnie and Clyde, the musical. And now Chief Meteorologist Doug Cady joins us with the first look of the weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Temperatures mainly into the upper 70s for highs. We had quite a bit of sunshine as well. 78, 52 are the numbers. 69 is our normal high. So a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. We do have some mid and upper level clouds streaming in, but we're going to stay dry tonight. Just kind of partly cloudy skies. We're watching this moisture, which is going to connect with that moisture out to our west as we go through about the next 36 hours. Temperature's great. Most of us sitting into the upper 60s right now. And we're not going to drop off as much tonight as what we have seen. We're still going to go kind of down in the mid 50s. Clear skies back to 68 by 10 a.m. And as we look down the road, warm and windy tomorrow. Some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Possible severe threat plus a cooler weekend. We're going to look at all that here in just a bit.
All right, see you then. Some area students sat down to enjoy some short films that they created. Missouri Southern today hosted their annual Southern Media Showcase. It's a competition where area students from different schools create their own videos and publications, ranging from short films, comedies, and news writing. Around 400 students were in attendance. Webb City High School walked away with the audio video sweepstakes. McDonald County won the journalism sweepstakes. Some folks gathered in Fort Scott today to begin building their future careers. The Ellis Fine Arts Center at Fort Scott Community College hosted a job fair. It's a chance for students and other job seekers in the area to look for both part-time and full-time positions. 20 businesses were at the fair.
Issue that employers are desperate for employees and especially qualified employees that need certain credentials for jobs. So we find that the job fair is just another great way to get the word out about positions available.
The Carthage School District is looking to do some hiring for summer positions. The district hosted a hiring fair. They're looking to fill a variety of positions over the summer.
We're looking to hire for summer work, so summer school we're looking for some positions, mainly food service, custodian work, grounds maintenance, and driving a bus.
The hiring fair will continue tomorrow from 11 in the morning to 1 p.m. at the Carthage Administration Building. The FBI took the alleged national security leaker into custody, identifying him as 21-year-old active service member with the Massachusetts Air National Guard. Fox News Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin has more from the Pentagon.
There is nothing contemporaneous that I'm aware of that is of great consequence.
President Biden weighing in on the ongoing national security leaks during his visit to Ireland. And now the feds have made an arrest. A 21-year-old active service member has been taken into custody. He's a member of the intelligence wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard, who allegedly oversaw a private online group on the social media site Discord.
Today, the Justice Department arrested Jack Douglas Teixeira in connection with an investigation into alleged unauthorized removal, retention, and transmission of classified national defense information.
The arrest came just hours after the Washington Post conducted an explosive interview with one of the alleged leaker's friends, who claims the airman has no political motivation and was not a spy.
He is not interested in helping any foreign agencies with their attack on the U.S. or other countries.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill reacting strongly to the new revelations and also pushing back on the president's suggestion that nothing of consequence leaked.
You don't share your game plan with your adversary. Certainly in this instance, there are lives at stake. This is not a game.
Mike Turner, the head of the House Intelligence Committee, tells Fox News most of the tactical damage caused by the leaks can be mitigated. But others point out there's more at stake here for the U.S.
It's revealed yet again we spy on our allies. We can't keep our secrets. That is a little troubling.
The House Intel Committee says it's working on new legislation to tighten up security of classified material. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Coming up, a convenience becoming an addiction.
Are Americans addicted to their cell phone? I'm Alexis McAdams. I'll tell you what industry experts are saying about that coming up next.
Our cell phones are certainly something we can't live without. It connects us to our friends, our family, and they make our days more efficient. Experts, however, say these devices are becoming more of an addiction. Fox News correspondent Alexis McAdams has more.
Americans love our devices.
Do you reach for your phone first thing in the morning or right before bed? If you said yes, you're not alone. Experts say a large majority of Americans do that exact same thing, to the point where they say
the technology isn't the problem. It's when the technology gets out of place with our lives. 70% of us say we'd rather go on a bad date than do without our phone.
People are increasingly becoming addicted to their devices, spending up to 5 hours a day or more on their phones. Specialists say the average American checks their phone about 400 times a day in most cases, which breaks down to once every 2 minutes.
You know, there used to be significant differences demographically. Now they're far less so.
For teens, the statistics are even more concerning. 66% of teens admit to feeling anxious when they don't have their smartphone. That's why some states are now taking action. Utah recently passed a bill to limit kids' social media access in hopes it will help keep them off their phone.
So one of the things that we do in the bill is we require age verification. So all adults in the state, if they want an adult account that has unrestricted access, they have to prove that they're over 18.
Experts say instead of being glued to your device, make it a habit of putting your phone in a drawer for 5 minutes or even 5 hours. In New York, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
Children born with the help of assisted reproduction are growing up just fine. That's the finding of a landmark study that shows no difference in the psychological well-being or quality of family relationships for kids conceived by egg donation, sperm donation, or surrogacy. Researchers at the University of Cambridge say their findings overturn assumptions that children born with assisted reproduction are at a disadvantage because they lack the biological connection to their parents. Danish researchers are working on a test that detects HIV and hepatitis from a single drop of blood. They say the test will be especially helpful in places where using a needle to draw blood can be less safe or less practical, including prisons, drug rehabilitation centers, and homeless shelters. Doug is back with a complete look at the forecast, and later, we'll hear from the Frontenac High School golf team about their hot start to the season.
Well, it turned out to be another nice day for us today. All week long, we've had fantastic weather, and again, partly to mostly sunny skies for us today. Temperatures into the upper 70s, just about perfect temperatures. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, for us today, we went into the upper 70s for afternoon high. So really just great temperatures. 67 now in Nevada, 65 in Monette. We're at 66 in Bonita. Chanute is sitting at 66 degrees. We'll drop back into the mid 50s once again for us later on tonight. 68, 7th and Rangeline, southerly winds, light. It was kind of breezy earlier. Humidity is at about 45%. We had those southerly winds all day long. These are calming down a little bit for us now. They're going to pick back up once again as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Not like super strong, but we're going to have winds gusting in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range as we go through most of the day for us tomorrow. All right, through the evening hours, 63 by 11 down to 55 by 7 a.m., but still quite a bit of sunshine. 68 we return to by 10 a.m. Clear skies now. We've had a few mid and upper level clouds which have been streaming through. Look at this little area of low pressure now lifting back toward the north. So we're going to take this moisture and we're going to combine it with our next storm system, which will somewhat affect us as we go into tomorrow and also Saturday. It looks like the strongest of the storms will actually just kind of split right around us. There is a severe threat, so this is going to be tomorrow night, but you can see it just clips our northwestern counties, and then we just have a very low threat across the region. So luckily, I think most of the severe weather is going to go around us. All right, let's go through time. Here's 6 a.m., mid-50s. We're going to have partly sunny skies. We go into the mid to upper 70s already by noon tomorrow. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us 80 to about 82. So a fantastic day on Friday. It is going to be a little windy. All right, look at the storms. Tomorrow evening, out across central Kansas, and one or two of those guys may try to get in here tomorrow night, but I really think most of us end up staying dry. Here's 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. A few scattered showers. Here comes our cold front, but the timing of the cold front really helps us out. It pushes through, it gets into southwestern Missouri by the time we get into Saturday afternoon, and then storms are going to fire up along the front, severe again, but just east of the region. So that helps us out, even though we're not going to see much in the way of rainfall out of this next system. All right, 80 for us tomorrow, 74 on Saturday. Quite a bit cooler on Sunday. Look at that overnight low, 39 Sunday morning, 37 on Monday morning. I think we'll stay just above getting a frost, which we don't want this late in the season.
Yeah, we've got gardening season coming up, so a frost would not be good.
Not be good. No.
Yeah, not at all. All right, thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Coming up, protecting your data when you're traveling.
Public phone charging stations are so convenient, but now the FBI says they're a great way to get hacked. I'm Caroline Shively. Coming up, I'll tell you everything you need to know about getting juice jacked. That story's next.
Arkansas is now the second state to require children to get their parents' permission if they want to use social media. Republican Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed a sweeping bill known as the Social Media Safety Act into law. The new law requires age verification and parental consent for users under the age of 18. It also requires social media companies to contract with third-party companies to perform age verification through driver's licenses, photo IDs, or other documents. The new law takes effect in September. The cost of putting food on the table is down. Grocery prices fell in March, which is the first decline since September of 2020, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The data shows indexes for fish, eggs, poultry, and fish fell 1.4% from February to March. Bakery items, cereals, and non-alcoholic drinks were among the products that that did become more expensive. You may think you're topping off your phone battery before you board a plane, but the FBI says free phone chargers at airports are an easy way for hackers to tap all the way into your phone's data. It's called juice jacking, and tech experts say those free charging stations could end up costing you a lot. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Have you heard of juice jacking? Cybercriminals sure have.
The prevalence of this is growing exponentially right now.
The FBI's Denver office recently tweeted a warning to avoid free charging stations in airports, hotels, and shopping centers because criminals are using public USB ports to introduce malware and monitoring software onto devices. That malware can export your private information straight to a hacker.
Every time you go to your bank, every time you use a credit card to go shopping, they're going to capture all that until they have this rich and juicy file on you.
For security, I always use my mobile hotspot so it connects to my phone and it's password protected, and it's a very long password so no one can get in. And then I always plug in with just the AC cable.
To avoid getting your juice jacked, use an AC power outlet instead. If you do use a USB port and a prompt appeared asking share data or charge only, always select charge only. You can also use a charging only cable, which prevents sending or receiving data.
Today I'm actually at Raleigh-Durham Airport. No matter where you go, there's something you can plug into. And unfortunately, this is kind of like a virus.
One expert says USB data blockers sold online can work.
It also means the bad guys, the hackers, the bad girls are out there. They have a hold of it now. Now they start figuring out ways around it.
Public Wi-Fi is another way cyber criminals can target you. So if you're transmitting sensitive information, the FCC says use your data plan instead. Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Delta Airlines has reported record advance bookings for this summer, despite tickets costing 17% more this year. It's the latest sign the airline industry is doing well after the aftermath of the pandemic. Delta reported $163 million in earnings in the first 3 months of this year. Like many airlines, the Atlanta-based carrier is under pressure to increase wages. Up next, we'll get a glimpse into the life of ancient Mayans and how they played sports. What's believed to be an ancient Mayan scoreboard has been discovered in Mexico. Researchers think it was used in a game called pelota, similar to soccer. Archaeologists unearthed it when the famous Chichen Itza site. It's Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The circular stone piece is about 12.5 inches in diameter and weighs 88 pounds. It's carved with hieroglyphic writing and shows two players wearing headdresses standing next to a ball. 31 minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. A Joplin pizzeria punches its ticket to Italy to compete in a global pizza competition. Plus, some Joplin students got to learn about career opportunities in the construction industry. Carmine Pizza in Joplin, Missouri recently made waves in the world of pizza. The International Pizza Expo is a renowned competition where pizzerias from all over the world gather to showcase their skills and creativity in pizza making. Carmine Pizza's entry in the International Pizza Expo was a classic traditional style pizza. The pizzeria made waves by winning second place in the traditional pizza category.
And in that category, there were 90 competitors, and I placed second place. So I took second, and then I also placed first place. I'm on the Galbani Pro Team, so I placed highest on the Pro Team too.
A representative with the competition says Bill's performance is no small feat.
It's really a big deal. I mean, I'd like to consider this the World Championships of pizza making. I mean, he's truly, if you want to have one of the best pizzas in the world, that's the place to go.
Competing with several world-renowned chefs, Bill says he is happy with his result.
Placing second, I was going against some of the best people in the U.S. and actually from across the world. There's people that come in from Italy, Greece, Germany, France to compete. Placing second for my second time competing, I was very happy with that.
With the newfound attention, Bill says he can't even keep up with the orders.
Business has definitely increased since I won. It's probably doubled our business since last week. So yeah, we're definitely struggling to keep up with it.
Bill will not just gain attention locally, but nationally.
He's probably, the news is out on him. I mean, we have a lot of news outlets that cover, Pete's Expo. We've already certainly gone social with it. We'll have information up on our website. It'll be covered in the pages of Pizza Today magazine as well, because it is a big thing and he should celebrate it.
Bill says there's a reason his pizza stands out.
So once again, the difference in our pizza is the way we ferment our dough. A lot of places, they make the dough in the morning and they use it the same day. We give our dough time to ferment. So that's the big difference.
Carmine's Pizza will be flying to Naples, Italy in June to compete in the Caputo Pizza Cup, the largest pizza competition in Italy. Some Joplin High School students got a chance to see what a career in the construction industry looks like. 8th through 12th graders at College Heights met with construction employers and training organizations for a hands-on experience. Officials say the event gives interested students a foot in the door to a career.
It means to do HVAC, all of the heavy equipment operating and all of those different avenues that they can take. They get to explore that today and kind of give them an informed decision of where they might want to go with their careers.
The event was put on by Eckerd Connects and the Workforce Investment Board of Southwest Missouri. Donald Trump returned to New York for the second time in 2 weeks to face another legal battle. The former president appeared for a deposition in a civil lawsuit filed by New York's Attorney General. The suit accuses him and his children of inflating the value of assets in the long-running fraud. If it's successful, it could lead to sanctions that would ultimately drive the Trump organization to stop operations in New York. A federal appeals court has spoken, ruling that an abortion pill will remain available to Americans, but with significant restrictions. But there is likely a much longer legal battle to go. Fox's Griff Jenkins reports from Washington.
A small sigh of relief for abortion activists nationwide. A widely used abortion pill will still be available for now. Late Wednesday, a federal appeals court partially overruled a decision that would have pulled FDA approval of mifepristone this week.
It was an outrageous ruling by the Texas judge, as is evident by the fact that it was overturned in a few days.
Mifepristone is part of a 2-drug regimen to terminate a pregnancy. It's been on the market for over 2 decades and is also used to help with miscarriages. Some pro-life activists question its safety.
It was fast-tracked in a sham proceeding by the FDA under Bill Clinton.
The appellate court did impose some temporary restrictions on the abortion pill. Women can no longer get it through the mail, a method popular during the pandemic.
This mailing of it means teenagers can, take this drug without their parents knowing.
And the court cut down the amount of time the pill can be dispensed from 10 weeks of pregnancy to 7.
In the 21st century America, that makes no sense. Why can't you get this pill in a health clinic without having to go through your doctor?
Several states and universities have begun stockpiling the drug. Democrats think Americans are on their side of the abortion debate. And a recent poll shows a majority think the abortion pill should be legal.
The Republicans have realized their agenda, especially on these social issues, is wildly unpopular.
The Justice Department says they will seek emergency relief from the Supreme Court. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
A bit later, brewing up some change.
Beer lovers may want to raise a pint to this. I'm Lauren Blanchard with a look at the new projects helping the beer industry become more sustainable. That's coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a great Thursday for us today, and a really nice evening as well. Temperature is very comfortable. We have mostly clear skies across the region. Temperatures are still sitting into the 60s. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, zooming in. Look at our highs today. Western counties, we hit 80, 81 across, really from Chanute out toward the west. Everybody else, upper 70s, and then you get into the mid 70s once you get into our eastern counties. But temperature's still great now. 67 in Nevada, Neosho, 65 at Grand Lake. Chanute is sitting at 66 degrees. Looks good. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline. Clear skies out there for us. As of right now, we do have that southerly wind. It was a little breezy earlier today. It's not bad. Light winds at about 5 to 10, but these are going to increase once again as we go through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. We're going to have winds gusting kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range, especially once you get out across southeastern parts of Kansas. All right, planner through the night, 63 at 11, 55 in the morning. We will start with sunshine, but we'll start to get some clouds in here by the time we get into the afternoon hours. We're fine right now, but you can see a few clouds out there. Look at this little upper level low spinning right across parts of Mississippi. So this guy is going to continue to lift off toward the north, but here's our next storm system out across the central parts of the Rockies. This will affect us. It will definitely cool us down as we head into the weekend. There is even a severe threat tomorrow, but this is mainly just to our west. In fact, just kind of clipping our northwestern counties. Very low threat for everybody else. I really think most of the severe weather just kind of circles around us. All right, let's go through time. Mid-50s to start. Southerly winds, kind of breezy. We get into the mid-70s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, check this out. So here's 5 p.m., 88 Center, 80 in Coffeyville, 81 in Chanute. So we're getting up there tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening, thunderstorms. They fire out across central Kansas. These are going to go severe very quickly, but I think most of them will shoot to our north near Kansas City. And then we'll get a few random showers in here Saturday morning, but the front moves through during the morning hours. So that means any severe threat is going to stay just to our east, really Springfield, Jeff City, off across southeastern parts of Missouri. So we look pretty good as we head into the weekend. Just temperatures are really going to drop by the time we head into Sunday. Not tomorrow, 71 by 11, 78 by 3. I think most of us will hit in that 80 to 82 degree range. All right, 54 tonight, 80 tomorrow, 74 Saturday, a few morning showers and thunderstorms. But look at this, 39 Sunday morning, 37 Monday morning. So we're pushing a frost. I think we'll stay right above it. Thunderstorm chances Tuesday. Severe threat returns next Thursday, Friday, and next week, and it gets very active next couple weeks.
So what you're telling me is tomorrow I'm probably going to have to turn on the air. But then Monday morning or Sunday night, I'm going to have to turn on the heat?
Nah, just put on a sweatshirt. You'll be good.
All right. I'll trust you. All right. Thank you, Doug. Torrential rain in South Florida caused major flooding overnight. A rare flash flood emergency alert warned of life-threatening conditions after torrential rain made roads impossible to navigate and trapped people in their cars. It's being called a 1-in-1,000-year flood event. Man, my goodness. Coming up in sports, we take a look at the early success of the Frontenac golf team. Plus, Webb City tries to win back-to-back home games for the first time this season. We'll have those highlights in sports coming up next.
The Webb City Cardinals have started this season with an 8-6 overall record. Webb City began conference play last week, and today their conference opponent Republic, they play for the second time this season. Webb City on their home field against the Republic Tigers. Cardinals won the first meeting against Republic, have a chance to make it 2. Landon Fletcher on the mound for Webb City. The sophomore has been a rising star this season. Top of the first inning, Fletcher gets the hitter looking there. Gets another one, swinging in the second. Then off to the fourth. He's showing off some high heat. Frustrating day for the hitters all around. Fletcher strikes out 8 of the first 12 batters he faces. He was locked in today. How about some offense now? In the bottom of the second, no score. Kinley Hood smashes one deep to center field over the center fielder's head. And that'll be a one-out double, but Webb City was held scoreless. So we head to the bottom of the third. Sam Weller at the plate. He goes opposite field, and he'll drive in Gabe Chapman. That gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Webb City goes on to win the low-scoring battle against Republic 3-2 over the Tigers. Kaylor Darnell got the walk-off base hit for Webb City to win it. And the Frontenac Raiders golf team was off to a hot start this season. They won both of their tournaments they've played in this year. With that being said, they've set high goals for themselves to be one of the best teams in the state. The Frontenac Raiders have won back-to-back tournaments to begin the season. The Raiders finished 1-2-3 at the Baxter Springs Invitational Tuesday. Vinny Pyle finished in first place in the tournament. He has high expectations on what the team can accomplish this year.
This season, I think we're really good. We got really good depth. We improved a lot from last year. I think we can have maybe even 4 people in the top 20, for sure 3. Try to get 3 in the top 20 this year.
Frontenac head coach Brady Hill has led the Raiders to a top 6 finish in the last 2 years. His goal for the team this year is to improve and finish as a top 3 team in state.
We've got bigger numbers out this year for our team, so as a team, I'm excited about the depth that we have. The last couple of years, we've had 6, 7 kids out, so having bigger numbers allows us more depth and more competition in practice.
Hill's son Aiden is a junior. He finished in second place behind Pyle Tuesday. His mind is always on how he can improve his game each week.
Just focus on beating myself from last tournament, improving on my own score.
Frontenac has more depth on their team than they've had in years past, but they have no seniors on their roster. Their upperclassmen now have to set the standard for the next group of golfers coming up through the program. And Frontenac will be back in action Monday for a tournament in Fort Scott. The St. Louis Cardinals are off to a slow start. They're still under 500 with a 5-7 record, but tonight they kick off a 4-game series at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals get shut out tonight against the Pirates, 5-0. St. Louis drops to 5-8 overall this season. However, Brendan Donovan goes 2 for 5 with a double. Cardinals will try to even up the series tomorrow against the Pirates at 7:15. And Landon Fletcher for Webb City, he was on pace to strike out 2 batters per inning, so very impressive from the young sophomore.
Yeah, he's been showing up in our highlights a lot as of late, but let's go to the golf team. Did you ever think that you'd be covering golf when you
No, I did not. I did not think I would cover golf, but it was really fun. I had a great experience with those guys, and they're great, and good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that we're able to shine some light, on a different sport.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, thank you. We're back with more news after this. Calling all beer lovers. One of your favorite beverages could be getting better for the environment, with groups of farmers and scientists inventing new ways to help beer manufacturers become more sustainable. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard takes a closer look.
Farmers and scientists are on a mission to make beer that's better for the environment, and their unique approaches are something to be happy about. Hops are one of the main ingredients in beer, but growers in Spain say these plants are under attack by climate change.
The combination of droughts and higher summer temperatures are leading to extreme reductions in the yield.
To combat worsening conditions outside, these hops are grown inside a facility which only uses renewable energy and no pesticides. They're grown vertically in water, taking up less land. Because of this, crews are able to use almost 95% less water than traditional farms. In the future, the team wants hop growing facilities like this, built directly next to the breweries that use them.
We would be able to use the CO2 that's emitted in the fermentation of the beers to be able to accelerate the photosynthesis of our plants.
Meanwhile, researchers in Germany have created beer powder. Simply mix a few scoops into a glass of water and you've got yourself a pint. Workers say the powder eliminates the need for beer to be shipped in bottles or cans, and the process to make it would require less water and other resources.
We solve water problems, bottle problems, energy problems, transport problems. It's so fascinating. We can save about 3 to 5% of the CO2 emissions for Germany alone.
The team in Germany hopes to have the beer powder ready to hit the market by the end of this year. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Coming up, how NASA's crew members prepared for a possible Mars mission in the future. We can't send people to Mars yet, but NASA's getting in some practice with the simulation. Fox's Joy Addison has more.
4 crew members outside of NASA with a background in science and technology will embark upon a mission to Mars, but they're doing it right here at the Johnson Space Center in a Mars habitat. So for 365 days, they will eat, sleep, and exercise just as if they were in outer space.
As we're moving from near Earth orbit or low Earth orbit to missions further away from Earth, we really need to understand how we're impacting crew health with more limited resources.
NASA's Moon to Mars exploration started with missions like the Artemis launch and continues with this Mars simulation habitat. It's about the size of a 3 to 4 bedroom house and will be used for NASA's longest analog mission to date, 365 days.
It's an isolation and confinement mission for a year with a crew of 4. We're putting in realistic simulations, so they're going to be doing realistic Mars tasks. They're going to have a lot of exploration activities in our sandbox, which will be more Mars realistic.
From the sand to the 3D printed walls, this Mars habitat will be a place where the volunteers will practice their personal hygiene and health care, like drawing blood. They will also exercise, grow food, and collect geology samples.
We are going to be measuring their performance, their cognition, their health over that year to really understand and make sure that we're supporting it. And then that information we can take and give to the vehicle planners.
This area will soon be packed with all of the supplies that will go to Mars. But there is one area of life on Mars NASA couldn't simulate.
So we are not able to simulate the Mars gravity.
So what we've created here is a space where we can simulate virtual reality spacewalks or Mars walks. Also simulate a variety of other expected tasks that we might see on Mars, such as geology, removing dust from your spacesuit or solar panels, to repairing the habitats.
Once they're here, the volunteers will go through training similar to if they were preparing for an actual mission to Mars. They will have limited communication with family and friends with the same delays that they would have in outer space. 2 additional crew members will be trained just in case anyone opts out or cannot make it through the year-long mission. In Houston, Joy Addison, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with the video of panda cubs at a Chinese research center. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.